Hey, Dallin, just wanted to do a quick simulation for you. I know I sent you that PDF. Just kind of want to walk you through the simulation so you can see the actual power of it. I know I talked to your dad a while back and walked him through it, and he saw the value of it. But wanted to do a video for you so your particular simulation so it makes sense. So we're going to do a cash out refinance on second home. And we're going to compare it to the traditional one. So right now I'm just going to put in, let's say 3 million. Right. And then we're going to do let's just say a $2.1 million loan. We're going to compare that to a 30-year and we'll do a 6.5 rate. That's pretty good for a second home jumbo cash out refinance. And like I talked about, doing just putting rents in there, um, having the rents going right into the account because it is an all-in-one mortgage. So you have the checking account and the mortgage all in one together. So wanted to have that there. So we're going to say on average 25,000, or let's just be a little more conservative. Let's just say 20,000. Right, and that's going to be a monthly deposit. Let's see here. Next. All right, taxes and insurance, we're going to say, see at 3 million, you're probably looking at about uh 18,000, maybe less. So let's say about $1,600 in taxes and insurance per month. And then as far as left over, we're going to say 20,000 was somewhat net. I mean, we could play with all of these numbers. So let's just say we have 5,200 left over. So when I say leftover, that means they calculate interest every night. It's a 30-year loan. The rate is based off of the SOFR index, 30-day average, plus whatever margin. One that I just completed was a $3 million loan. He decided to buy the margin all the way down to 2 or 2.5, to where that rate on top of the SOFR, which today is 4.3, would be like a 6.8 right out of the gate. Every time they cut the rate and cut SOFR, the index drops. Then it's re-averaging over that 30 days, and then your next month's rate is going to reflect the lower index. So it's not a fixed, it's variable, but it's variable in the right direction right now. And I'll show you some, we'll crank it up, the rate up a little bit higher here in a minute and show you actual results there as well so you can kind of see. But we're going to go ahead and calculate results. So basically, this is where we would be if all you did was move $20,000 a month, or if that's what came in for your rents each month. It would actually pay that loan off itself in 19.1 years. So with that said, your comparative APR is 5.25 versus the 6.5. All right. And then you could see here that your average monthly payment. So when I say monthly payment, that's the average interest that it took out each month over that 19-year period. To whereas here, your monthly payment was 13,000 a month for 30 years. And then you could see also here, your average principal was reduced by 9,100 each month, whereas this averaged about 5,800 over 30 years. So we're going to return to results because here's the key. Oh, the pay down table. This is showing how much is available each month, right? So, and you can use this money. It's not locked up like as opposed to that 30-year fixed rate. I mean, you could refinance it a couple times as you go, but you're going to pay tons of fees because those costs are higher on jumbos, right? So even if you refinance it 2 more times out of that, you're throwing away about $15,000-$20,000 to where you don't have to refinance this one ever, because if you deposited $50,000 in there today, it'd be available to use tomorrow. You could pull it right back out. You don't have to ask. You don't have to fill out any more loan documents or anything like that. It's the money's yours. It's in that account. It's just basically instead of sending extra to the actual mortgage at ABC Mortgage Company, you're leaving the extra in the bank account. All right. So we talked a little while ago. We talked about lots, right? Sometimes you come across a lot that's just not financeable and it has to be done with cash. Well, you have $300,000 in here. If it's a $200,000 lot, you can wire that and pay cash for the lot. Or you could go in and do treat this as your working capital account, and you can run multiple rental properties in there and move this money faster and just use this to work out of. Pay your taxes, pay the insurance policies, pay for repairs, pay for different different contractors do different things. So we don't dictate how you spend this money. You go buy a car, you could pay something off, you can go buy a property in a foreign country and finance that yourself. But let's return to results. Let's say we do have more money coming in. Let's say you're able to divert more money from other rentals or other properties. And let's say we have 30,000 a month. Okay, and then we go to spending and whoops, that did not. Next. And then we'll go back here and adjust this. And again, we can play with this average monthly expenses to go out in addition to what, because right now this includes the mortgage for the property and the taxes and insurance, and that's it. So we can adjust for future expenses and stuff like that. So if we go to 30,000, now all of a sudden, now we're talking 8.8 years, you're paid off. And now if we look at this pay down table, now you can see chunks of money going in. In fact, if you have money sitting somewhere, you can actually deposit it and eliminate your payments. All right, let's do that. Return to results. Let's go to deposits. Let's say you have a one-time deposit of, let's say 800,000. Let's say you sold something and you moved that money into this account to minimize and let's say you did it in month 8, okay? After we closed, 8 months after we closed, you transferred $800,000 into this account because you can't. It's not an FDIC insured thing, which the banks are FDIC insured, but they're only insured up to 250,000. So if you had $800,000 sitting in a bank and something happened to the bank, you'd have to beg the government to get you some of that money back. But it's actually secured by the property. So even if you had the full $2 million in that bank account, all in one account, it's secured by the property. If something happened to the bank, all they do is send you your deed and say, sorry, it didn't work out. Here's your deed. Your account is closed. So it's your money, your asset, all of that. So let's say we throw in a one-time $800,000 deposit. Month 8, calculating results. So now you see that shot us down to 4.9 years. Now we go back to this pay down table again, and I'll show you here was month 8 when we dumped $800,000 in there. Now you have $1 million. Now you could sit there and maybe you want to build another house. Maybe you have a lot already, and so you move that money in here. Now we can start doing draws. Let's say 2 years from now, you're ready to start buying another house or building another house. So let's go back to spending. Future one time. I only have 3 on here. So we're going to say, we're going to do $350,000 draws, 3 of them. And let's say a month, because you don't have a draw schedule, right? If you have the money in this account, which is minimizing your interest payments and saving you money, you can turn this into a construction draw, and you don't have to ask a bank for draws. You don't have to get a builder approved. You can just start whenever and get the plans, you get the contractors, and you're going. You decide how much money comes out at a time. You're never really going to have $350,000 coming out at any given time on a draw. So you're going to have $25,000 for permits here or there, and you're going to do $100,000 for a lumber package or $100,000 for excavating, stuff like that. But that money sits in the account and keeps bringing interest down while it's in there. But just to kind of, let's say month 26, let's go month 32 and month, let's say 38. All right, so you basically, over a year, little over a year, 3 draws. Let's say you did one, the build cost you $1,000,000. And we're going to calculate the results. So now, in 9.3 years, you will have paid this home off because there's $2.1 million in your account right here. And you used $1 million out of your working capital account to build another house, which will probably generate more income coming in. So that you're literally taking the house here in the Ledges and putting Hart State Bank over the top of on the roof. You've created a bank out of that account, and now you're in full control of how much money you pay in interest. You could always wire however much chunk of money, if it's available, into that account to stop payments altogether and have it just sit in there. Because if you have $2.1 million, that was the loan amount in there, there's no interest, there's no payments, there's a $20 annual fee. That's why this loan, if we look at it this way, you saved almost $2 million over that 9-year period while building a house and owning that. And there's so many other ways to play with this, as far as, buying things that can't be loaned on, using the cash to do that, coupling them with DSCRs. But you guys have a lot of leverage when it comes to finance. That's why this one makes the most sense for it. So if you guys want to jump on a Zoom someday and really play with the simulation, let me know, and we'll do it. So hope that helps, and we'll talk to you soon.